Hello everyone, my name's JinJinx and I guess I'm a Genshin math guy now. Now really the point of this video is to cover exactly who I am, what this channel is about, what we cover on here, as well as what my philosophy is when it comes to gaming math and optimizations. Now some of you may not be new to the name Jinx and Tuner, some of you may just want to know about the philosophy etc, so timestamps above if you want to skip ahead. The video on YouTube will also be sectioned off into these timestamps if you want to just click through the chapters. So starting off, who am I exactly and why do you care about the content on this channel? Well, if you don't know why that intro line was funny, it's probably because you never saw any of our Monster Hunter World Math Guys content for the past 2 years. Now, I'm not going to bore you with all of the details about my life story, but the TLDR is that I have spent the past 2 years building up a full-time career as a guy on YouTube who does gaming, math, and optimization, and min-maxing, understands and explains the damage formulas and mechanics, etc. You know, that good nerdy shit. If you ever heard of the Monster Hunter World Meta Set series, that was us. Speaking of us, this channel is called Jinx and Tuner because I am one half of a pair. See, my channel partner Tuner and I have been splitting up the responsibilities of running a YouTube channel and its corresponding community 50-50 since day one. I basically handle all the video related stuff, so doing the calculations and spreadsheets for the content as well as editing the videos. And Tuner takes care of all of the community management as well as all of the channel management side of things. He answers comments, he runs and administrates our Discord server for our community hub, he handles all of the social media, he handles all of the Twitch streaming to keep the community engaged, all of that good stuff that I am really bad at doing. I'm basically a math and editing robot. I'm really bad at all of that community management and people stuff. Beep boop. I would literally get out less than half of the content I currently do if I had to take care of that stuff because I'm just really bad at it and it takes a lot of effort from me. He is also the first person to help me with testing, recording footage, or just bouncing ideas and double checking my math on because he has a very strong understanding of gaming math as well. Be sure to go check him out over at Twitch.tv/tuner since he does stream almost every single day. He is relatively new to Genshin, so whenever he streams Genshin, I try to be in the voice chat to be able to explain to him how the game works, the mechanics, how to optimize, all of that, so it is a great place to come learn. Be sure to go shoot him a follow because nothing you have seen on the channel would have been possible without his help. He's the best. Also, real talk, he's just way better at video games mechanically than I am and actually interacts with chat because he's a good streamer, unlike me. But yeah, we used to be the Monster Hunter World Math Guys. We became pretty well known amongst the community for our guides on how the mechanics and calculations in the game worked, as well as our very famous meta set series that just covered the mathematically min-maxed optimal damage sets. However, Monster Hunter World is kind of gotten stale at this point. It's no longer updating any new patches and the new game Rise doesn't come out until March. However, I've fallen in love with Genshin Impact, so we doing this now. We will likely start doing some more Monster Hunter content again in March when Rise does come out, but for the moment, Genshin is the focus of this channel. So now that you know who we are and quote-unquote our credentials, what kind of content should you be expecting from this channel and why should you continue to follow and subscribe to us to see all the future content? Well, the TLDR is that this is a channel about playing Genshin more optimally. The stuff we teach on the channel make your numbers bigger. And I don't know about you, but for me, a big number make dopamine go brr. Whether you are a massive whale or a free-to-play player, I endeavor to make all the content on here useful so that you can make use of the information to improve your own play and your own output numbers. As for the longer explanation on what playing Genshin more optimally means, well, I kind of need to explain what my philosophy about math optimization in video games is. There are actually 3 parts of this to cover, but let's go over the first one, which is that I endeavor to teach you the fundamentals about the mechanics and damage calculations in this game so that you can make the most out of what you have. See, this is different from my philosophy when it came to Monster Hunter World optimization because in that game, everyone has access to every single piece of gear as well as every single decoration for enhancing your stats as long as you're willing to farm for them. But Genshin is a gacha game, meaning we all get different puzzle pieces to work with when trying to maximize our damage outputs. I love this personally because it means that I am constantly having new puzzles to have to solve every single day, and every time anyone asks me for build optimization tips in stream, I have a brand new puzzle to solve. But it also means that there is no true quote-unquote meta option that works universally. See, at the end of the day, Genshin is a game about resource investments. And how you choose to invest those resources in terms of your team, your builds, your compositions, and how you play mechanically in the game changes how much output you get, in other words, how quickly things die. The god tier characters like Klee, Daeluke, Keijing are only god tier because they get more output for less investments. If you whale hard enough to get god artifact sets along with 5-star weapons with refines, literally any character in this game can clear the hardest content no problem. If you don't believe me, just Google Amber Abyss 12 solos. If you have enough resources invested into a character, they will be strong. That's how this game works. But most of us, myself included, don't really want to be dropping hundreds of dollars into this game. And that's why my fundamental philosophy for Genshin Math is cost-effective damage. Although that is kind of wordy, so let's just call it cheap deeps. Again, Genshin is a gacha game. There is a physical limit to how many resources you can farm every single day, which does ultimately hard cap our ability to invest resources into our characters and builds. Now, whales can get around this by spending a lot of stardust on Mora, as well as just burning a bunch of extra resin a day to farm up more of the domains, etc, etc. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Enjoy the game how you want to enjoy it. But for the rest of us, the important thing is making the most out of those limited resources we get available. And believe me, when you hit AR 40, you will feel the difficulty spike in the domains and content in the game if you have not wisely invested. At the end of the day, your resources and where and how you have invested them are the wall to the damage output of your team in Genshin Impact. And in this channel, I'm going to endeavor to teach you everything you need to know to squeeze out as much damage as you can out of those resources. This is why I'm probably never going to do any of those kinds of content where we go, hey, look at this 300, 400, 500,000 damage number I got, isn't that cool? Because at the end of the day, those are really cool things to watch, but they don't really teach you anything useful, and I endeavor to teach on this channel. So that's why the content on this channel is primarily going to be focusing around teaching you the fundamentals of the mechanics and calculations so that with what you have, you can optimize the best you can, as well as explaining what the naturally good synergies are, how strong characters are in terms of investment to output, etc, etc. This is actually why, even though I do have 5-star weapons, I don't actually use them. Not to say that people shouldn't use them. If you have 5-star weapons, use them because they're ridiculously good. But I do personally find that using these giant stat stick weapons does bias my understanding of the game fundamentals and mechanics, which as a content creator who wants to educate mostly free-to-play players, I just don't want to do that. It's also why even though I do have Daeluke, I have Klee, I have Keijing, I am actually using Bennett in the background footage you see here because he does get a relatively close damage output while being much more attainable than any of those 5-star carries. Especially when he is invested in properly. Bennett is actually really sleeper OP. Now let's get to the last part of my philosophy, which is less about the kind of stuff we're going to cover on the channel and more just how I view things in general, which is play the game how you want to play it. I want to be very clear, I am not shitting on anyone who wants to whale, who runs 5-star weapons, who does any of this stuff. Neither am I ragging on anyone who wants to play purely free to play. Because at the end of the day, the only difference between the two is how many resources you have available and how many good things you have that make use of those resources. I personally like to play somewhere in the middle where I do have access to a wide variety of characters for experimenting and testing stuff out, but I try to keep myself within a free-to-play player's limit of resources. The key word there being try. I do try to not whale for resin too often, but sometimes I just don't have the time to go do mob runs in a day because I'm trying to make content. The core fundamentals and principles of this game that I plan to teach in this channel should apply to anyone regardless of whether you are a whale or free to play. Hell, if you're the type who refuses to use male characters in this game because you want an army of waifus, I can respect that. It is a game. Play it and enjoy it how you want because the point is to have fun. And if doing even bigger damage numbers is more fun for you, well, that's what this channel's for. And the final thing I just want to briefly tackle and nip in the bud is what we say on the channel is not law. Please keep an open mind and take things with a grain of salt. The game is still so new and we are still learning so much about it, and anything we say may not be 100% correct. The best we can do on this channel is give you the best mathed out recommendations we can based on what we currently know. I mean, when the game came out, I thought Bennett was trash tier, and he's kind of the best 4-star in the game. I also thought Xingqiu wasn't very good, and it turns out he's kind of the best sub-carry in the game. Alright, I really hope that this video was short enough while still covering all of the things about how I view gaming optimization as well as what this channel is about. It probably was kinda rambly, but if you've ever seen me on stream or really any of the videos I've ever made, that's kind of a trademark Jinx thing. On brand, on brand. As always, thank you so much for checking out the video. If you did enjoy it and it did teach you something about how our channel works as well as how I view things, then be sure to like the video, comment, and share it with your friends. All of these things just help boost it up in the SEO and YouTube search algorithms, which means more people get to see the content and get to learn, which is pretty neato. And if you like the content or you want to come hang out and chat with our community members, be sure to check out our Discord server, the Mathlos Nest. Feel free to DM and ping me if you have any particular questions. At least at the moment, I spend about an hour a day in the morning with my morning caffeine just answering questions in Discord. No promises on how sustainable that will be long term, but at least for the moment, I'm trying to answer what I can. And of course, a huge thank you to our patrons who did help carry us financially through that 4-month hiatus between making Monster Hunter World content and this new Genshin direction for the channel. I have said it before and I will say it every single time, y'all the best. And it does take me a while to put together videos, so if you want the most up-to-date information or just things I'm testing or just to keep up with me in general, just check us out on Twitter. I post on there pretty often when I discover new stuff. And again, if you want daily interaction with us, just go check out Tuner's Twitch. He is on there almost every single day. Alright everyone, if this video did its job and got you interested in the channel, then you should be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and that way anytime new videos come out or I stream on YouTube for Q&A or things like that, you get notified. Happy waifu hunting whalers, we will hopefully see you all in the future. Bye!